Okay, we have another FanHome here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so it looks like a couple more transformer steps. We have 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the transformer. 7, 8, 9, 10 transformers. There's 8. There's 7. There's 9. Ooh, this one's very heavy. This looks like number 10. Number 10. Okay, we'll start with number 7 here. We have some FP screws. This is a metal part in a baggie. Some other decorative pieces, looks like. Plastic piece, plastic piece. Plastic piece, plastic, some HP, AP screws. Ooh, that's interesting. Has kind of a spring appearance. Okay, let's see what we've got. Sole of the right foot, it says. So let's go. We have this piece and a small metal foot pad, and we're going to line this up like so. We're going to use an HP screw, and I'm trying to use the bigger screwdriver on this one. HP screw. We're going to try to keep these things posable. There we go. Now we'll want to attach, let's line this up, and the hole marked number 3. Hole marked 3 will go here, and this is an FP screw. Ooh, this is tricky. I think we have to feed our screwdriver through the other hole in order to get there. I think we have to feed our screwdriver through as such in order to screw that. And that is using a FP screw. FP. So we'll get this screw into position here. Into there. I'll let it just fall into the hole first. There we go, fell into the hole. Now we'll come at it through the other hole. Try to line it up. It's surprisingly hard. And slightly flexible so that slightly posable. Don't want it too tight on there. Seems about right. Okay, now on the back side, hole mark number 1, we have to get a piece that we had made before, I believe. Yeah, this is a part left over from a previous step, and we are going to put that into place into the hole marked 1. And we're going to be securing that with an FP screw. These screws seem a bit large for this screwdriver, so I'm going to use a different screwdriver. It's a more snug fit into this bit, and it doesn't jiggle, so I'm going to use that one instead. Okay, a little too tight. Let's back that off a hair. Yeah, there we go, posable. Okay. That's that. Now we take this plastic piece, I believe we're hooking it in to this lower piece right here, and then we're using an IP screw to fix it. IP screw. Now this step came with AP and FP and HP, so I wonder if they really meant AP. We'll see if it's the right size. Seems like it'll be about right Seems like the threads will engage and it's not going to be way too large. So we've got an AP screw. Got this lined up. We'll flip this over and that should be where our screw goes, right in here. There we go. And that seems to attach that, and it's just a decorative piece, but we'll have to be careful with that. Okay, so now we are putting together 7, F, E, and C into that orientation. And that is all the parts here in this baggie. F has the gears, the hex goes this way, and then the big part goes towards the hex. It goes into there. The part with the side bit coming off of it goes, except where you put the flat part towards there. And that's all 3 of those fitting together. Now that piece, it seems to attach onto here. And there is a pin index. You can see it only goes on one way. So we just push that into place there. There we go. And perhaps a screw from the other side? No, I don't think so. I think it's just pressed onto place, into place. This one is a little loose. Tighten this one down here as we're working on various things. Now we put this decorative piece, and there's a small pin. Let's see, let's go here, and I think the pin falls into, oh, the two pins in the middle go upper, and then there's one pin lower. 2 pins, 1 pin. 2 pins, 1 pin. And push that on. This decorative detail. Ah, very nice. A lot of separately applied detail work on this. Very nice. And 7D would be this piece. It's got 2 holes that you can see are slightly off angle, so it's showing us. Make it slightly off angle so that it's slightly, 2 holes are on the front side of the foot. In other words, it slightly covers up the spring more than it does not. So we'll line it up like this. 2 holes are on the front side of the foot and the middle of the part, so it basically sits slightly further back. And we line those pins up there, and there we go. So again, just kind of making a nice decorative piece there, pushed into place. Okay, that is the right foot, and I think that is it for step 7. Now let's move on to step 8. So here's these parts. We have some large decorative plastic pieces and a couple sets of screws. The inner wheel of the right foot. Okay, so we have some smallish plastic pieces and these here, and a DM screw. These are DM screw. We'll get a DM screw ready. This is one piece. This is the 8 Delta piece, and we're going to, it says there's a wider end and a narrow end, and I think we're putting in this end like that, and here it shows the detail of how we want it to sit. There's a slight angle to this, so we want to obey that slight angle, and then we put our DM screw into place. Trying to find a slightly snugger screwdriver for this, because it really don't want it to strip out. In fact, let's undo it I'm gonna undo it and just come at it again. I'm gonna undo this again because it really wants to strip out. And I think I should use the other DM screw instead so that we don't strip it out. I'm trying to find the perfect bit for this so that it does not strip out. I think that should be about ready. So that was all loose. Now, snug it down tighter. Actually, that's getting pretty close. Snug it, but it can still move, just barely. Snug it down. Okay, now this one comes around. We need an OP screw, and we'll catch this gear. We have a gear we're going to catch, and this is going to come through here. This is going to come through here. Now we're going to catch the gear. There's a little standoff on the gear, you can see. We're catching that. That piece seats down onto there, you can see. And it should be able to rotate slightly. Then that gear looks like it seats itself inside this ring. That ring keys into this post. And I believe we've got a screw on that one as well. Yes, we use an IP screw. This step actually has some IP screws. Must be relatively similar to the AP screw since they interchanged that last step. IP and AP look like they're the same type of screw, actually. So we're screwing into the center of this gear with IP screw. Okay, and there's that assembly. We are going to the next step. That includes this large piece with the simulated dots. Looks like a big brake caliper to me. And we're attaching, I think, these two small ones. So let's do that. These just, let's see. This has kind of a one directionality to it, and this seems like this. Oh, and they are keyed in. You can see they are keyed in to a shape, and they only go on one way. So that goes on there. This again keys into a certain shape and goes in only that way, away from the dots. Now, oh, we're going back. Yes, so we missed this step here. So we're attaching this pre-assembled piece we will attach to the leg. And on the leg, I think we're using these two pieces. And we're catching the gear, goes up above, and it basically goes on like this onto those. And then we're feeding, those are IP screws times 3 apparently. But I'm trying to sort this out. This piece seems like it goes, this piece goes over to there, and these go here. Yeah, and these are 3 IP screws. So let's do IP screws on these. IP. And let's do these big ones first. We do want this angle to be slightly under before we line up that screw. And now let's line up that screw. So I'm just barely starting these, and then get a close up here. Yeah, and then we have this one here buried over here. I want to get that to seat down pretty good there. And I think there's probably a decorative cover for that. There we go. Oh, and this one is too loose still. Still all too loose. Let's keep going. Okay, there we go. Now it's seating. Fully sitting. There we go. I didn't want to strip out that plastic. Now it's snug. And we're still bending downward there. And I have to kind of tilt this cover out a little bit to get this. And again, we're just going to get this one to bottom out too. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, a lot of detail there on the foot. Okay, now catching back up to where we were, we put those decorative pieces on here, and now this one looks like it just snaps into place. Oh yeah, so there's 3 pins here, 3 holes here, so it only goes on one way. We'll find those pins and put that decorative piece on. And there's quite a few detail pieces here. Quite a detailed model. Be careful not to pull those off at a later time. And you can see this detail piece comes very close to that screw right there, and this detail piece kind of hooks behind, but doesn't actually touch back here. So it says the right foot has a tire on the outside and a gear wheel on the inside. And so we haven't quite got there yet, but I think there will be a tire here with the fender, and we have constructed that on a previous step. But for right now, I think we are done with this step 8. Okay, let's do number 9 here. We have some parts and instructions. Let's take a look. Okay, right front wheel support, it says. Plastic piece, some smaller pieces, another one of those. Plastic piece with a little ball, and another kind of foot-ish piece. We have some screws. First we take the foot-ish piece, 9C, and put it into the 9D, and then I think we attach that to a previous assembly. 9C, mark 2 down, the number 2 on there goes downward, and then we use an HP screw. Okay, we're using an HP screw here. A little too tight, I want to keep it posable. There we go. Nice, bendable, posable. Now, let's find our previous, I think this is our previous piece we're going to use. Previous piece, and now we're attaching it to there, under there like this. And that is an FP screw. Gotta get these holes to align, and then we can get our screw down in there. There we go, it slips through to the other side, and then, now that requires a bigger screwdriver. There we go, find a bigger bit for us. So get it snug, and then back it off a little. There we go, posable. Okay, this looks like kind of a 3-toed claw. 3-toed claw that can sit down on the desk there. 3-toed claw that can sit flat with our pieces. And this goes up inside the foot. So here's the foot, getting quite complicated now. But there are 2 attachment points, and I think those are these 2 attachment points. One is at a different height than the other, so should be like this. Should come in like this and attach in there like that. And that will be, that says IP screws. Probably get these to just be dangling out of their holes there, if you can see. It's kind of dangling out of its hole there. And then we'll just use gravity to help us here. Have them dangle out of their holes. And then as I line it up, I should be able to get it started. Let's try their screwdriver. I kind of use a threader technique where I screw it in, unscrew it, screw it back in some more to try to encourage the plastic to thread in instead of stripping out the head of the screw. And this is pretty wobbly still, so I have to get these in tighter on the head of that screw. There we go, snugging down. Now let's get this one to snug down. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Snug down. And we've got all these, and it seems like this should be down like that, but it maybe should be up like that. And then we want to make all these kind of align with the floor, I think, to get the right look. And this shows this one going up high. So we have a couple more decorative pieces, these gears, and one of them pushes on, the other one will go on with a IP screw. If we're wondering about progress, this is only one of 2 feet, so a lot of these steps we will at least have to repeat for the other foot. And we should have similar detail on the arms. I've done some of the head. And this gear goes in to here, just as a detail. And then this gear looks like it goes in to this hole with an IP screw. Okay, let's try not to throw it this time. And the gear is loose on there. Question becomes, should we leave it loose or should we get it? Okay, so we have this gear in place. It's actually snug enough that it doesn't rotate. So let's keep moving. Next step will be to take this large piece, and there's this small piece with a pin that we'll put together. Putting this in here, and then we put that pin through there. It's like a metal pin. I think I'm gonna need a needle nose pliers. So I'm just trying to get that pin started. Hold this here. Okay, so I have that pin is about to start into that hole. And I'm just trying to gently advance that. There's a pin there. It is pretty snug in there. There we go. And this is pretty snug, but you can flex it. And then this goes on the foot. 2 holes here. Line those up like that. And then I use EM screws. EM screws. These are EM screws, and you can see that there's an R exposed, but it looks like we covered that over later with some other detail work. So for now, let's just get both of these screws started. We have that, and this just barely misses this kind of foot peg. Now we have the small piece, and it looks pretty symmetric with the little ball on it. Now we need some IP screws to put that on. The 2 last IP screws to put that, and that covers over the R mostly. This assembly is getting pretty big and heavy. Let me leave it on the counter. Now that these screws are started, I can hold it stable. And there are a lot of detail pieces, so you do have to be careful. And that looks like the ball is attached nicely there. Okay, quite an intricate foot so far. We are also now adding we're going to put that wheel that we have assembled previously. This wheel we had assembled on a previous previous issue, and you can see the ball in the middle. That will snap right onto that ball. And we kind of want the fender pointing toward the front, and that kind of snaps into place there. Very nice. And then I think this basically locks down over top, and that kind of captures it a little bit as well there. So pretty nice there. And that is the end of step 9. Here's number 10 parts. This looks like a large metal piece in here. Large metal piece. Very complex. Things probably attached to this. This may be about a kind of middle leg and some plastic pieces that go with it. Number 10, the right leg. We have this that will snap into, this piece will snap in here. That seems snug. Good. Now we have this, and we have a decorative cover that goes here, and I think it just pushes right on there. That just covers up some of this kind of die cast on the back side. So that's nice. Then we have this round piece that goes, seems to go right here. That goes on there. And we have some CM2 screws. CM, that just says CM, but I presume those are the right ones. Those are the only ones that came with this step. And we will put a ball coming through, and the ball itself dives through the hole. Oh, CM times 2, excuse me, CM times 2, not CM2, but 2 of the CM screws. So this ball will go through that hole, line up, and then we'll attach those there. That gives us a ball on the other side. So I have a CM screw loaded up here. Get that one started. Get that started. And that will give us our ball coming out the other side. And that gives us our ball coming out of here. And that seems nice and snug, so it should be good enough. And that is it. Those two are internal parts of the leg, and there's a bunch of decorative work that goes on after, but that is it for step 10.